My son and I are at United Airlines waiting for our flight from San Francisco to Austin, and the flight attendant has denied access to us because he said that I made a derogatory comment about one of the flight attendants because I didn't use the right pronoun. Now
Hey guys, welcome back to Liminal Period. It's your girl, Chun-Li Shoddy. There's a video of a mom, toddler, and grandmother getting kicked off of a United Airlines flight for allegedly misgendering one of the flight attendants. And I saw this video last week, and my initial thought was, I'm really not surprised. United Airlines has gone woke for the last couple of years, so it's not surprising to me that misgendering someone, a part of the flight crew, is going to get you kicked off. However, just because I'm not surprised doesn't mean that that's not completely and utterly wrong. That's what's wrong with America today, and it's because we're allowing certain communities to control our language, our speech, our freedoms, because we are hurting the feelings of certain minority groups, and it's ridiculous.
United Airlines waiting for our flight from San Francisco to Austin, and the flight attendant has denied access to us because he said that I made a derogatory comment about one of the flight attendants because I didn't use the right pronoun. Now they are forbidding us to get on the plane. I am with my son. He is 25 pounds. I've been carrying him for about 30 minutes. They denied us boarding priority, and now they're about to deny us to board the plane. We'll see what happens. So we're still waiting to board the plane. I did not use the air host's right pronoun by accident. I'm sorry. I'm here with my son. I have the car seat, I have the stroller, I'm carrying everything, and we just need to get on the plane.
It's stressful enough being a mom traveling. I think she said she's with her mom, but you're having to deal with all this shit and getting on a plane, and you have to be concerned about misgendering someone else. Like, that's completely the last thing on everybody's mind.
They will not let us get on the plane. They're calling the air security. I don't know what my rights are in this situation. If anybody can reply, they know what my rights are. But this is ridiculous. United Airlines, San Francisco flight to Houston. I don't know what's going on. I can't even understand.
San Francisco, I'm not surprised.
We refund your tickets and let you go to another carrier.
Okay.
Based on, I got a fact find. I can't make any determinations. Yeah. I've got a fact find. I've got to get my crews together. In-flight has to get their statements.
What is it they said that I said? I'm just curious what
again,
they said.
I need statements. I don't want to go verbal about what I thought I heard or what I said heard, but the captain denied you.
Okay.
And when the captain denies you, it's end of the story.
So, okay, so my 16-month-old
How did
son,
it even
myself,
get up
my
to the
mother
captain?
Are being denied for I
what
believe
came out of your mouth?
I got the wrong pronoun. I didn't know they or he or she.
There was some more that I heard that you had a conversation with in-flight.
And my son's medicine is on the plane right now, but he needs his medicine if we're going to stay here the night in San Francisco.
The aircraft has dispatched your bags with the intention that you were supposed to fly.
Yes.
And because of the verbal confrontation that you just had.
Okay, so we were denied boarding, myself, my 16-month-old son, my mother. They took our luggage on the plane, which has my thyroid medication, which I'll be very sick without, my mother's medication. They basically said tough luck. And they won't tell me exactly what I said, but what happened, and I will tell you what happened right now. I was speaking to one of the flight attendants, got their pronouns wrong. The other flight attendant didn't like it. I said, I'm really sorry. I'm not very versed with pronouns. I was holding my son. He was having a temper tantrum. I had the car seat on my back. I wasn't really focusing on anything except getting my son's car seat on the flight and getting him comfortable and safe, and him, because now it's his nap time. You can see he's kind of fallen asleep. They're saying that it's a hate crime that I did, that I might not even be able to ever fly United. We don't even know how we're going to get back today. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what my rights are here. I think that it's...
See, and this is the type of messed up situations that you can find yourself in when an organization starts to go woke. And again, like I said, I wasn't surprised that the flight is coming from San Francisco or leaving from San Francisco. Like, I'm not surprised because we know, like, there's a higher concentration of progressive, woke, liberal-minded people over on that side, right? It's so hard to be able to find a middle ground or a common ground with a group of people when again, like there's just, I don't know. Like she said, like what are our rights? Okay, like how about I just stop interacting with every single non-binary or questionable looking person that might have a pronoun associated with them because I don't want to possibly misgender you. Like that's not the way to go about this situation. It's like if she misgendered someone or whatever the altercation is, I don't know. Like again, like there's no footage of it. This is all just coming from her perspective. And I mean, like we got, I think it was one of like the flight crew manager or somebody that was speaking to her and talked about the confrontation, but they didn't, again, point out exactly what did she say that was derogatory. What was so bad about the confrontation that she needed to get kicked off of the flight? I've seen worse shit happen on a flight and people just calm down and go back to normal because everyone has somewhere to go. Everyone has somewhere to be. These tickets are paid for. If again, I'm going to be at risk of misgendering someone because they're questionable in the way that they present themselves, how are we going to go about having conversation? Like, I don't know. We as people just shouldn't be okay with this. Like, United Airlines is a publicly owned company. And so for them to now be a part of the system or the mechanism that is starting to control free speech, we need to call that out. And I'm interested to hear what United Airlines has to say in response, but I haven't seen it yet.
Gendered in Target, and I just wanted to talk about it for a second because I love that I'm like at this point in my transition where it's like...
And pause, because like I said, this is one of the type of questionable, I don't know, is this a woman, is this a man? You know, seems like a nice person so far, but I wouldn't know how to interact in conversation.
Care. Like, yeah, I go by he, him pronouns, but like I really don't care because I've never like gotten on here and outwardly said it, but I think at the end of the day, we all know that I am a little bit non-binary, so I have days where I'm feeling a little bit more feminine, and days where I'm feeling a little bit butch. Anyways, back to the recent Target interaction. I just want to point out that I think the woman was actually confused, and I think that she thought I was a trans woman, which I feel like probably happens quite often. But you may notice that I really need to shave, okay? Like my stubble's coming in, I really need to shave that, but also my chest and the tits were out today. The tits were titting, honey. So I loved that interaction.
Sorry guys, I'm just so confused.
So I was like, okay, we live in a day and age where obviously people look and see a hairy chest and they think that a woman can have a hairy chest, and I love that. I think that's amazing.
Pause, because just to clarify, this is actually a biological woman that is now a trans male. I don't think that normal society think that women can have a hairy chest, but it's kind of obvious that you are of the community. And I'm not saying this in a mean or shady way. I'm just saying it's very obvious that your identity is a little confusing to the observer. Maybe your identity is very clear to you, but to me and to most people, like when you start speaking, like, yeah, it starts to become a little, I don't know what this person is, okay? And so again, this person was to happen to work at United Airlines and reacted the same way, like it would have been a different engagement. It gets confusing, and this is what Jordan Peterson was warning us against. And
anyway, so that woman kept being like, she, her, and ma'am,
yeah.
And I was like, yes. I was like, this could be the chest of a woman. Thank you.
Thing is hate speech. Yes, obviously. People say terrible things, reprehensible things, quasi-criminal things even, all the time. Brutal, and some of them cause a lot of trouble. So the idea that there's hateful speech, it's like, yeah, okay, that's self-evident, no problem. Well, let's regulate it. Okay, fair enough, because it's hateful. You know, maybe we'd rather that there wasn't any of it. Okay, no problem. Who defines hate? Well, we'll worry about that later. It's like, no, you won't. That's actually the problem. Here's the answer to who defines hate. Those people that you would least want to have define it. That will be the inevitable consequence of the legislation, because sensible people won't have anything to do with that. Like, people who are power mad will gravitate to that domain to make an ethical case to exercise their controlling power over the language of other people. No, and I've had journalists say, well, what makes you think that your right to free speech trumps the right of someone to not be offended? And I think that's really the level of our political discourse. Okay, so we'll run a little thought experiment. So I'm talking to one person, I'm talking to you, and the rule is I don't get to offend you. Okay, maybe we can still have a discussion about something difficult. But let's say I'm talking to 10 people and about an important thing. Now I have to make sure that I don't say anything, despite the fact that this is an important and contentious issue, that I don't say anything that offends even one of those 10 people. Okay, maybe I can even manage that. What if I'm talking to 1,000 people? There's going to be someone in that 1,000 people, there's going to be someone who's offended at the mere fact that I exist. So it's an impossible standard. It's like, well, you can't say anything offensive. Okay, fine, then you can't say anything. Okay, so what? You don't get to say anything because no one should be offended. Well, then you don't get to think. Well, what happens if you don't think? Well, then you can't negotiate your way through the future and you fall into a pit, and so does everyone else. So that's where that all ends up. You can't say offensive things. Equals, you cannot negotiate your way properly through the future. Equals, everyone suffers. Well, that's a bad strategy.
See, it sounded a little bit doom and gloom back in 2016 when he first stated this, right? Dr. Jordan Peterson went viral back in 2016 when he was speaking up against Canada's Bill C-16 regarding hate speech. And he was talking about it so passionately, and a lot of people said that he was being toxic mindset, and he's a part of the patriarchy, like so many hateful things. And again, I feel like he just knew the consequences that were to come, because there are people of this world that are power hungry. That's whenever I talk about the powers that be, I don't know exactly who these individuals are. And of course, like, that's where these conversations are going to become helpful, right? Because again, like, you can see that there is a clear agenda as far as controlling our way of communication, of controlling our thoughts.
So, and it's all covered up with, well, it'd be better if no one was ever offended. It's like, well, who thinks that? You know how naive you have to be to think that? How you have to be pathologically naive, which is the kind of naive that you could have grown out of, but you willfully refused to because you weren't willing to see what was in front of your face. And then you impose that blind naivety on everyone else because you don't want to allow them to upset your rosy view of yourself and the world. There's no end to how terrible that is.
So like I said, I know it can seem a little bit doom and gloom the way he's talking about it, but at the same time, this was 5-6 years ago, and he kind of saw this fallen state of where the West was and the direction that we were heading. And we're there now, okay? We're at a point where you can get kicked off of a flight for misgendering someone. We're at the point where we're allowing boys to participate in girls' sports and claiming to be women just because they think they are. Okay, we're at a point where we really need to just take a pause and reflect and what is causing all of this and what can help it. Okay, and I'm sorry, but it is election year here in the US, so I think it is just a time for us to all pay more attention to what's happening. And again, politics and what happens in our culture, it all ties in together. So again, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation, and I look forward to speaking again with you guys next time. Bye.